And we're recording.
Good morning. This proceeding is broadcast on Channel 35. The exact broadcast times can be found by contacting Channel 35.
Good morning. I'm Joe Brivich, General Counsel of the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. This is a regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Water and Power Commissioners. With me in the DWP boardroom today are General Manager and Chief Engineer Marty Adams, our CFO Anson Tilley, the Board Secretary, and very limited essential staff only. As permitted under Governor Newsom's executive order of March 17th, all of the Board of Water and Power Commissioners are teleconferencing from remote locations. Also consistent with the Governor's order, all public comment will be taken telephonically. We may announce a recess if we have technical difficulties or lose a quorum due to technical difficulties. As indicated on our agenda, members of the public wishing to offer public comment should call area code 213-360-3065 and use meeting ID number 961-599-063 followed by the pound sign. Again, yes.
Joe, you inverted a couple of numbers. Can you do the phone number again?
I will. It's 213-306-3065. Meeting ID number 961-599-063 followed by the pound sign. There is a call moderator who will let speakers know when it is your turn to speak. You will be identified by your partial phone number. To members of the public calling in, when it is your turn to speak, please state whether you're speaking on general public comments or a specific agenda item. You will have 2 minutes per item, up to 5 minutes total. The Secretary will tell you when your time is up. And please turn down your speaker if you're listening to the meeting on your computer because we will get feedback. Commissioners, at this time, the Board Secretary will do a roll call. When your name is called, in addition to stating your presence, if you would please let the Board Secretary know if there are any agenda items you would like pulled for questions or discussions. Thank you. Now I turn it over to the Board Secretary.
Commissioners, please say present. Barad? Commissioner Barad?
Present.
Levine?
Present.
McLean Hill?
Present.
Neiman Brady?
Present, and items 19, 22, 23, and 26.
Commissioner Reyes?
Present. Items 11 and 12, please.
Thank you. The opening of the board meeting by President Levine.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you, everybody, for your Herculean efforts through all of this. My opening comments are substantially the same as what they have been for each of our prior 3 virtual meetings. Even though they're repetitive, I believe they bear repeating, so I will. They're in the form of gratitude and praise. First, to our unbelievably superb staff across the boards in terms of the delivery of services to our ratepayers in the course of this pandemic. Our staff has been magnificent. Not that that's surprising to anybody, but when we've been under the type of stress that the city and the country has been under, to see the staff perform in the magnificent way that it has, delivering water, delivering power, delivering customer service, responding so effectively and efficiently and consistently, is nothing short of inspirational. And so, and again, I know I speak for all of my commissioner colleagues, but I just want to put a spotlight on the magnificent, consistent performance of our staff throughout this entire process. And I specifically want to compliment our general manager and chief engineer, as well as the entire senior staff as well. Marty, although he's a lifer here, has only been GM for a relatively short time. You'd think he's been GM his whole life, in the manner in which he has led this department throughout this extremely challenging process. And the mayor as well has been and continues to be an inspiration. I won't go beyond this particular comment than to say the contrast between the national leadership and its disastrous nature and the local leadership and its superb nature is just remarkable. And every Angelino should be thankful that Eric Garcetti is our mayor at this time. So I want to warmly compliment staff, senior staff, general manager, and mayor for a continuous job exceptionally well done. Those are my opening remarks, Susie, so if we move to public comment.
Thank you. Steve Reisner?
Yes, good morning. We have 4 people that are here for comment. So callers, I'm going to be calling out your area code and prefix. There's a couple of you that have the same area code and prefix. If you don't hear an acknowledgement, you'll probably be next in the comment line. Please state your name and which items that you are commenting on, and you'll have 2 minutes to make your comment. I am now going to open up for caller number 3. It's area code 213 with a prefix 792. Good morning, caller. Please state your name and your item number. Okay, caller, I'll come back to you in just a moment. I'm going to go to caller number 4, which is area code 213, prefix 367. There's 2 of you. I'm going to go with the first one. Caller, can you hear it? Can you hear me?
These
Please state your name and your item number.
These 367 prefixes are DWP prefixes. Are you sure that they're general comment?
They are.
Okay.
Is there a comment? Okay, I will move on to caller number 3. Also 213, area code 367. Do you have a comment for the board? Okay. And caller number 4, area code 213, prefix 392. Your line is now unmuted. Can you hear me, caller?
Steve, I think the 367 numbers, which are DWP prefixes, as well as the 792, which are cell phone prefixes for DWP, might be just folks calling in to listen to the meeting rather than to
listen only? Okay. All right. No problem. I'm going to try one more. I've got one last one. Caller area code 213-367 also. Do you have a comment?
Same idea as Joe had.
Yep. Okay. I think we'll assume that everyone's there in listen-only mode, since no one was, as we go off mute, no one was speaking. So I will turn it back over to you now, Susie.
Thank you.
Board Secretary.
All public comment is now closed.
Thank you, Susie. General Manager.
Thank you very much, and good morning. It's great to see everybody. Again, I was actually, when I came in today, I thought to myself, maybe we're not that far off from having an actual board meeting again, which would be great, although maybe this is more convenient for everybody. Most of my update will be during the COVID presentation, just to bring up the speed on that. But again, President Levine, I appreciate your comments for myself and on behalf of the staff. And you're correct, the senior staff has done a fantastic job of really making the department function well the last couple months during this, since we started the telecommuting and having less people in the building. They've been at work remotely or in the yards all over our service territory daily for the last 2 months. We're really working hard with everyone and making things happen. Interestingly, I almost forgot to mention about being in this job. I thought about it last week, and then Friday was a long, long day. So, but Friday was a year anniversary of our visit from the federal investigators, and we have just so you know, nothing has changed. Everything is still continuing as was. Saturday was a year anniversary on the job for myself, so it's hard to believe that it's been a year. It feels more. You're right. It feels like a lifetime after the last 2 months.
That was quite a greeting you got, Marty, when you started.
Yeah, well, it was. I figured there's nowhere to go but up at that point. So, as far as the department functions, everything is going rather smoothly. Water system has had few, if any, issues at all. Power has had a remarkably low number of issues, other than typical small level outages you might expect. No real issues from the heat. Did get an interesting note from Brian Wilbur, who heads up transmission and distribution, that during the past 2 months, from March 15th through May 17th, we had about 38 Mylar balloon outages. During the same period of time last year, we had 77 Mylar balloon outages. And in the 1 week time since the city started to reopen some amount of retail, we've had 21 Mylar balloon related outages. So it's interesting to see how we see effects of that on the power system. But overall, things have gone very well. Crews have been available and responsive. And for the most part, things have been on the quiet side. Our call times are improving. We've had to thin the ranks in the call centers, but Sharon Grove and her staff have been on top of it. We've actually rolled out some capability to take calls remotely with special laptops through a vendor. And so we're actually doing really well, although we have more customers at home and more customers seemingly calling in than normal, especially about regards to their bills and payment and such and arrangements. We're handling that very well. So as the department goes doing our core functions, they are going very smoothly and very well. And I think that even though we look very differently staffed than we normally do, all of our core business is getting done, and we're taking care of the public in every way that we can. Rich and Andy, do you have any comments that you want to make about anything going on in your systems that the board would like to know?
No, things within the power system are going extremely well, better than I had anticipated. The system is holding up pretty well with the heat. The employees are adjusting pretty well to this whole situation, which is kind of what I expected. They're a pretty resilient group, and I think we have exceptional quality of employees here within the department, and so things are going really well.
Yeah, I would echo what Andy said. I have an opportunity to go out and see the field crews from time to time. And so that is progressing well, just top-notch individuals out there. I'm also on quite a few phone calls with staff throughout the days, throughout the week, and can confirm what you said, Marty, that our core work is getting done. We're still making progress on our initiatives. And so I'm encouraged with that. I'm also eager, though, to see some staff starting to come back as soon as next week, just to be able to have that relational aspect of it, which I think everyone's looking forward to as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Can you elaborate a little bit on the protocol for just what people have to do to come back? And do they have to say they don't have a fever, or what kind of steps?
If I can hold on that, I'm going to have a
Sure.
COVID report. If I could wait till then, I'd do it all together.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
So anyway, I guess it's me. So I apologize. That's the end of my report. Unless you have any questions. So. Mel, I'm sorry.
Is that your report?
Yes, it is, sir.
Okay. So, Susie, I would recommend that you call on each commissioner to see if what comments each commissioner may have.
Commissioner Berard?
Yes, I have a couple of comments. First of all, I would like to thank Rich Harisick for following through so quickly regarding the park, Caballero Creek Park in Tarzana. The drawings that he sent were very helpful, and I appreciate that. The other thing that I wanted to comment on, which is not related to that item, is the front page of the Los Angeles Times today has an article. The headline is "Millions in Unpaid Utility Bills Coming Due." And I read the article carefully, looking for Department of Water and Power, which they don't actually name. But I think the optics of the article are misleading for us and not good for DWP, because it says that the utility companies will be warning many of the households that they should resume paying their utility bills, and it's going to be a problem, and that the rates will be going up. Now, I know that this was a discussion at one of our board meetings recently, and I'm just wondering if our public relations department or Marty should respond to this and say what DWP's policy is regarding unpaid utility bills, because this is a pretty scary article if you just read it as is. And I just think that we need to respond to it before people, really get worried, because it says many households won't have enough money to resume paying their utility bills, so much less repay their deferred bill. So that I just want to put that on the table and see what staff's thinking is on how do we respond to something like this, because it certainly does relate to DWP and our procedures.
Commissioner or President Levine, we don't normally do responses during the board meeting, but because of the timeliness of what Commissioner Brad's bringing up, are you okay if we give a little information on that?
Yeah, of course.
Nancy, would you like to tell a little what's going on from our standpoint, please?
Sure, thanks. So a couple of things. First of all, the mayor announced a couple of weeks ago, we will not be disconnecting anybody for non-payment before the end of the year. The second is that we have extended all of our payment plans. So we've offered to extend all of our payment plans, so basically double the length of the payment plans, which should make it easier for people to pay their bills. They'll get more time, so depending on what their circumstances are, they can get up to payment plans of up to 12 months. We're also looking at ways that we can expand our outreach around our low-income programs and potentially make some changes to those low-income discount programs that already exist, as well as urging the state to apply the additional. There was some federal funding through the LIHEAP program, which is a low-income home energy assistance program. So California is getting some additional funding, and that can go to assistance for low-income customers to offset part or all of their utility bill. And in all of that, we've tried to increase the amount of customer outreach around these options for our customers, so that they're aware of, first, no disconnect, We don't report to credit, the credit rating. We don't report on your credit rating and the availability of payment plans.
I want to add to that. I think the story is discussing more of the national situation. I think there's a paragraph that does mention this, kind of buried in there, that LA Water and Power says it will not be shutting off anybody for collections, and I think it may actually reference California Utilities, because that's the same throughout the state of California at this point. So we'll double check the article. Of course, just the entry line and the intro to the article may cause some amount of concern for folks. We'll work with Nancy and her public affairs team to see if we need to do any further outreach. We are currently outreaching on basically every social media channel that there is, as well as in the press. We've actually taken out some paid advertising as well to assure our customers. But if we think that this is going to cause additional concern, we'll clarify. But I think there is some reference in the article. I haven't read it closely myself, but from what I've been told, that says that what they're saying in the article would not pertain to Los Angeles or even to California as a whole. So I think it's more of a national news issue.
Just a personal comment. When I saw the headline, I had the exact same reaction that Jill did.
Yeah.
But then if you dig, now I'm where Marty is, but I do think people who are versed in whether or not this communication needs a response should take a look at it, like maybe Joe.
Yeah.
From all.
Yeah, because a lot of times people won't get past the headline or the first paragraph, and they'll assume it applies to them. I agree. So we'll make sure that our position is clear, so that our customers don't have to worry about that.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Commissioner McLean Hill. Commissioner Neiman Brady, comments?
None at this time. Thank you.
Commissioner Reyes, comments?
Just want to add to the initiatives that Nancy Sutley briefly discussed is the ability of the department to also do outreach for donations for low-income customers, which we name as the Low-Income Assistance Financial Assistance Program of LADWP, and we choose to be the SHARE project. So that one is also in the works. So that will help our low-income customers alleviate, payments that they owe to the department. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner McLean Hill, do you have any comments? Commissioner might have stepped out at the moment.
So let's proceed, and we can come back to her and see if she has comments.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ratepayer advocate.
Dr. Pickle, do you have comments?
He does, but we
I
don't
think
hear him.
you're muted, but it doesn't show muted. So.
Dr. Pickle, we don't hear you.
Dr. Pickle?
This is Camden Collins, just in the interest of moving the meeting forward. We'll have comments if there are questions. There's no comments on agendized items in advance.
Okay, thank you, Camden.
You're welcome.
Hello?
Susan,
Yes.
you want to?
No, I heard you. I didn't have any comments, and when I tried to take you off mute, I accidentally hung up. So I've been here. Sorry.
Yeah, sounds exactly like
Even technology.
That's very reassuring, Cynthia. Discussion with neighborhood council representatives on any neighborhood council resolution or community impact statement filed with the city clerk, which relate to any agenda item listed or being considered on this agenda for the Water and Power Board.
No community impact statements or formal positions were filed by any neighborhood councils on the items on today's board agenda.
Great. Okay, so far we have 6 items that are being requested by commissioners to be pulled. Commissioner Reyes, items 11 and 12. Commissioner Neiman Brady, items 19, 22, 23, and 26. Are there any other items that any commissioners wish to pull from what will be the consent calendar?
Commissioner Barad pulled 11 and 12 as well with Reyes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, she did. Okay. 11 and 12. Okay.
Commissioner,
Okay.
with respect to...
that was Commissioner Barad or Commissioner Reyes?
Commissioner Reyes and Barad pulled 11 and 12.
Both of them, okay. Okay, so do I have a motion?
Commissioner, just before you entertain that motion, with respect to
Thank you, Joe. Yeah.
with respect to closed session items 30A1 through A4, you do have board letters on those. So if you, unless somebody wants to pull any of them, you do have the ability to take those on consent if you want to eliminate the need for closed session.
Well, I find that very appealing. Do any members, any commissioners wish to remove any of the closed session items from the consent calendar?
No, thank you.
Okay, so do I hear a vote to approve the 4 consent items as well as items 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 24, 25, 27, and 28.
And that would include 30A1 through A4 as well, right?
30A1 through 4.
I move approval of the consent calendar as itemized.
I second the motion. Susie, please call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner, just for clarification, did you include item 29?
I thought the Commissioner, oh, I'm sorry. Yes, please include item 29.
Okay. Okay, roll call will be Berard,
Aye.
Levine,
Aye.
McLean Hill,
Aye.
Neiman Brady,
Aye.
Reyes,
Aye.
5 ayes.
Thank you. Management report. COVID-19 update.
Okay, so I will try to be as thorough as you would like me to be without dragging us out too long. So, so here's this. I want to give you the latest status of what we're doing here at the department. So, first of all, we continue to have a very slow creep in employees who've had cases. We've had, I think, 14 now. No one has contracted COVID in the workplace. People have gotten it from family members or friends and that sort of thing. But the workplace has continued to be safe and continued to be a safe place to report to, and we're doing everything we can to keep it that way. Our custodial staff continues to do a remarkable job of sanitizing common surfaces. Everyone is wearing masks with a lot of social distancing, and we're preparing for a slow, I would say, I guess not over repopulation, but bringing people back to work in a very measured manner. Beginning last week, we brought back, was it last week? Yeah, it was last week. Seems like a year ago now. Beginning last week, we brought back all the MEA management team. It was my strong belief, and it still is, that we needed all the management level employees who are not already at the workplace to be here on a daily basis to help lay the groundwork for the summertime, to basically have a plan of action to get through the summer in a restricted working mode. Recalling that when we first went to telecommuting and reduced the number of people in the workplace, We thought this was going to last 2 weeks or maybe 4 weeks at the most. And so 8 weeks later or 9 weeks later, I realized that this is going to be somewhat of a normal mode for probably the summertime, if not longer. And so we need to really screw down how we are able to engage with our folks, clean up some of the electronic ways of communicating, regular meeting schedules, making sure that all the employees are able to get all aspects of their work done, not just certain projects or things they could easily do when they had to leave a kind of a spur of the moment, but all aspects we can make sure that the work that we've put in the budget and identified for you at the last meeting is all able to be accomplished. And so a week ago, we brought all management level employees back. In the end, it added, I think, 68 additional people to this building. So it was a very small change to this building. We have always had close to 700 people in this building on a daily basis, ever since since the beginning of the COVID pandemic. And so currently, just because a lot of people like to talk about percents and percent of occupancy, which in and of itself doesn't necessarily mean a lot, because if you took a percentage of the 15th floor, there'd be very few people versus a percentage of the 6th or 7th floor where Sharon has her customer service people, and they're fairly dense. But currently the building overall is about 11% occupancy. Next Monday, we will be bringing back our second level supervisors and above. These are this is the below the management level. This is the highest level of the IBEW supervisors, who are many times group leaders. They're called, we kind of regard them as middle management, and we're bringing them back to help us formulate the plans for really becoming more of a thorough engagement with all of our employees. On the 8th, we'll be bringing back the remainder of our field crews to be at full complement in the field. We've been rotating certain crews, both in water and power, to make sure that we had healthy individuals and that we always could respond to emergencies. And so now that we have a lot more experience and we have better plans for how to separate people in the yard spaces and more protective equipment for the field crews, including the arc-rated masks that Andy and his folks created for the line series. So the 8th we'll bring back, we'll be at 100% capacity in the field. And then also beginning of the 8th, we'll start a telecommuting rotation for folks who would normally be in this office or other office spaces, where people would come back 1 to 2 days a week, working on their job with their regular coworkers, and then be able to telecommute the other days. And so the purpose of that is to make sure that no one goes more than a week without being in the workplace, without being in direct contact with supervision and their management, and being able to progress all the jobs that we've identified. So with that, we've had a few changes that have taken place. So I mentioned last week we started out having additional signage and monitoring. Commissioner Neiman Brady, you asked about what we're doing to check people coming to the building. So there's been a series of self-check questions that we've asked people, and coming into the building, especially at the beginning of when we make a change. There's security officers at every gate, handing out informational papers and masks to anybody who needs them coming into onto the premises. This will be also the same place at the yards as well. Beginning today, we actually did a trial run for having nurses who are here taking temperatures for people coming into the building. We're hoping to be able to do that here as well as our largest yards. Our critical facilities already have temperature stations, such as control rooms and such, where we have critical employees. We already have had temperature stations for several weeks at those locations. So we are really rolling out additional measures. It's interesting for the folks who've been here all along, for the 700 people who've been coming to work every day as it is, now there's a lot more steps to go through. There's signage, there's lines and queuing spaces coming in from the parking garages. There's queuing space in the hallways, queuing space by the elevators. Elevators are still 2 people per elevator as a maximum. And so as we re-engage more people coming back to have a physical presence at work, we're also somewhat tempered by what the capacity is to handle people getting to and from their job site. So the office space, we've done surveyed the building. We have a few places that we're trying to reduce congestion, but for the most part, the office space is not an issue. Where people have had low partitions, we now actually have plexiglass partitions constructed between cubicles. And so the office space is not so much the challenge as it is the challenge of getting people to park. We're not doing van pools now. We're discouraging carpools. So we have to make sure that we have good parking for everyone, that people can actually get to their office and not have to wait, in half an hour to get through any kind of measures that we have. So this is kind of slow, deliberate steps to make sure that we're not overwhelming our own systems and infrastructure, but a plan to make sure that no one goes any reasonable amount of time without being engaged at the workplace itself. There's a few other policies that are coming out. There's guidelines. I don't know if we forwarded the board the guidelines. We'll make sure you have them all. So if you're really have run out of things to read, you'll have these. But there's guidelines for the rotational work folks coming back. That's most of our field crews. There's guidelines for telecommuters coming back. Very thorough steps that we've taken, and to make sure that people know exactly what to expect and exactly what the protocols are. We also have some changes to some of our policies. We're looking at a new COVID testing policy for essential employees to get people tested and cleared and back to the work site as quickly as possible, now that more testing is available. So there's a number of things that we're doing to really set ourselves up for the summertime, and no matter how we have to still work remotely or whatever we have to do this summer, that we're able to continue getting all of our work done. I think I mentioned, so we're at 11% capacity. Next week, when we bring back the second level supervisors, this building will be at about 14% capacity. And so we have a lot of room in that regard. I had made earlier comments about bringing back 20% of the staff. That was based on the thought that in large groups, that if people came in one day a week and it was rotated who was coming in what day, that about 20% of people's time at a working level would be here. Some smaller offices will have to be here more often. I do strongly believe that the higher level supervisory and the management personnel need to be here to be able to supervise their folks, to be able to see what they're doing, to be able to assign work. I don't believe in leading from the rear. That's why I've been here basically every day since it started. So we will be setting an example as a management team and as a high-level supervisory team. Last week we did a building tour. We had there's cities working on protocols and standards for reopening city buildings. I reminded everyone we've always been open. We've just been at a reduced staff, and the whole premise of the reduced staff was that we would have less exposure for the folks who had to come here, and that was really focused on the large number of people in the call center and who we needed to have a safe working environment for. So I invited the folks of the city who were working on setting the standards to come over. We actually gave a tour of 10 people came over last week. They had comments such as that our building was the gold standard for where we need to go. I understand that at a meeting with the personnel department, they recommended to other city unions that they should see what Water and Power is doing. So I feel very good. We feel very complimented by the response that we've had and the reactions that we've seen from what we've done. But it's the first and foremost importance to us is our employees' safety and welfare. And we know we have a lot of work to get done. We're laying out the best path to get that done through the summertime under these different conditions, but at the same time making sure that our employees are always taken care of. I could probably go on and on and on. We'll make sure you get all the documents so you can see what's going out to employees. I did another video on Friday. At the beginning of the video was a great thank you and recognition video that Joe Romalo and the staff put together. It was about a minute long, recognize their employees in all aspects of the job. Performing their functions in a very admirable way during the pandemic. So overall, we feel very good about how things are going. It's been a lot of work getting there. Linda Lee, the CAO, has been really the force behind getting a lot of these policies written down and worked out. We've had tremendous cooperation with labor, very, very positive working relationship, been very supportive. I think they fully stand behind the fact that we need people at work doing their job, but in a safe way. And so we all realize we have a critical role to play, and so it's been a very valuable and good partnership there. Linda, am I missing anything as far as, you're shaking your head no, you still don't have to say anything. So is there anything you'd like to add about policies or in response to Commissioner Neiman-Brady about people coming into the building or other work sites?
Just something real quick. We're constantly reevaluating, even though we have the policies in place. Marty is very concerned about making sure we pivot when we need to, changing it if there's anything that comes up that we haven't addressed or need to address that we haven't thought about.
Yeah, so it is evolving, and again, you know, there's some city plans overall that look at a 25, 50%, 75%, then 100%, you know, restaffing of building spaces. We're not looking at a firm percent. We're looking at, it's sort of a kind of a look back guideline, just kind of in general. But we're really looking at what the building can withstand. And again, it's the logistics of moving people around, and is probably going to be the thing that really limits what we could do in the future. But I do believe it's important to physically engage the employees as regularly as possible. And so that's what we're working toward, but with the eye that we're going to be in this for the long haul. So,
can you please circulate those self-check questions that you're having employees look at, as well as a copy of the leaflets that are being handed out?
Yes, yeah, we will. I'll have the. I'll send you the latest bulletin that I put out Friday, and then we have the check questions as well as the guidelines. There's another set coming out today, so I'll make sure that you have everything today. So it'll be a lot to read. It'll be good.
Great. Great, thanks.
Marty?
Yes, sir.
Do these rotation in and out situations have any implications in the long term for our overall space needs?
You know, it's interesting because, you know, we just finished the Pacific Stock Exchange lease and for the space over there, and there's, you know, a lot of talk about in the long run our company is going to start telecommuting, and is it going to be a kind of a excess of office space downtown, and what's it going to look like? And so, you know, we don't have a long-term telecommuting plan. Now, will we ever? We might in certain places, depending, but that's really not something we're looking at right this second. But we knew that we were already overstaffed in this building, and so particularly when we brought in new engineers, you know, having to really put too many people in an office space. Reiko's had to suffer through that a lot with the space she has, trying to staff up power for all the work that they have, and so those are some of the considerations in terms of bringing people back. I believe that you know, there's certain functions we need to perform here, and so I think that because we're probably going to have to spread out maybe even more than we planned, that the space that we've acquired is going to be important for us. And so I don't think that we're going to see ourselves having excess space. I think that we're going to need to spread out so we can work safely. A lot of our work really involves working in teams and communicating with people, and there's only so much you can do in a really effective way in our business, in the business of our nature, that we, you know, being at home. And so you do need people in the workplace. And so I believe that we will fully make use of the space that we've acquired. I don't think we're going to need more necessarily, but I think this whole incident has shown us that we need to spread out a little bit further. Especially call center is one of the most critical areas where you have a lot of folks in a fairly condensed environment, and so opportunities like that, and then some of the new engineering groups would be important for spreading out. I don't know if I answered your question or not.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Other commissioners have questions of Marty?
Oh, thank you.
Commissioner Reyes, yeah.
I want to just put, this is Commissioner Reyes, I just want to put on the table, probably, Marty, for you and your team to take a look at workers' comp, because even though you said that there are no cases of COVID arising from the workplace, it's still uncertain, especially as we have more folks going back to work. And recently, Governor Newsom has issued an executive directive about streamlining workers' comp claims related to COVID. And even though DWP is self-insured as the workers' comp, there might be potential cost impacts to the overall workers' comp budget. And if we are subject to this, I really don't know. That's why I'm putting it for you to kind of take a look at it with our workers' comp folks. Will LADWP be able to follow that edict by Governor Newsom in terms of claims related to COVID? Are we going to be able to streamline whatever processes that we have that are related to workers' comp and make it really convenient for impacted employees to file their claims? So I'm just putting it out there so that you can take a look at it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's a good point. Joe, do you have a comment on that? Because we've been tracking this and the idea that if someone gets sick and they've gone to work, that there's a presumption that they got it at the workplace. And interestingly, we've been tracing, the city's actually looking at a new office for tracking and tracing exposures. We've been doing that for a month and a half probably with our resource office. And so that's one of the ways that we're very careful about making sure that we know if someone is positive or suspected positive, that we know who they've been in contact with and when their last time in the workplace was and that sort of thing. But it is a real issue. So Joe, do you want to comment on that?
We took a look at this early on when the governor's order came out, and one of the components of the governor's order was a rebuttable presumption that if you contracted COVID-19, you did so at work. There are certain requirements that have to be met for that rebuttable presumption, but as soon as that order came out, we looked at it to see how it might impact us here, and other than having to deal with the rebuttable presumption at the claims stage, it won't impact us too much from an administration standpoint. So from the way we process our claims and everything else, things will remain as they always have. It'll just be that rebuttable presumption issue to deal with later at the claim stage.
Yeah, because the burden of proof, I think, is on the employer, correct?
Correct. Again, and that is the governor's order has a set time frame, so that's not a indefinite period that rebuttable presumption will continue for. It is a set time frame, and also I would note that the impetus for that rebuttable presumption was more to deal with cases such as folks working at grocery stores and what I would call more temporary jobs of nature where they were facing those challenges as opposed to full-time positions. But it does still apply to us, and we are prepared to deal with it should we get any such claims.
All right, thank you. That's good to know.
Any other questions about or anything that we're doing? Or any suggestions? Anything anybody'd like to see different or have an issue with? More than happy for input. I will say that whether it's the highest level in the nation or the lowest level here, everyone's dealing with this for the first time. Although I'm rather proud of how our folks have pulled together on this, because I think we're taking steps that we're seeing as being mimicked by others and generally being about one step ahead of what's going on around us.
As usual.
We're trying.
Thank you, Marty, very much.
Okay, thank you, and we'll send you all the paperwork so you can have all of it. And if you have any comments when you get that or any questions, certainly welcome that, because when we read this stuff ourselves, we get used to what it says. So we're always trying to make sure we don't have any gaps in what we send out.
Terrific. Okay, we'll move to filed items, financial services, February.
The report is in your package if you have any questions.
Any questions? Hearing none, Power System and RPS, March and April.
The 4 reports are in your packet. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer.
Any questions? Hearing none. Investment report for the quarter ending December 31st, 2019.
The report is in your package, and we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Hearing none. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the regular board meeting of May 12th?
So moved. Reyes moves.
And who else did I hear who was seconding?
Barad, Jill.
Barad, okay. It's been moved and seconded. Susie, please call the roll.
McLean Hill. Berard.
Aye.
Neiman Brady.
Aye.
Reyes.
Aye.
Levine.
Aye.
Commissioner McLean Hill. Shall we come back?
Yeah, let's hold it and come back and move on. Okay, both items 11 and 12 were pulled by Commissioners Reyes and Barad. So why don't we have a presentation on those items?
We have. Are they coming?
We're going to have a presenter in the boardroom right now, sir. Give me 1 second.
Yes, they're
Okay.
here. They're so far apart, we just can't see them all at once. So.
Good morning.
Is your
Kind
mic
of a
on?
wide angle lens.
Yeah. Can you see
You
our
come to the
speaker?
table if you.
Oh, table?
Yeah. I don't know where our cameras are aimed, so.
I think they're aimed at the back of the table.
Can you see our presenter?
I cannot.
Let me see what angles we have, but go ahead and introduce yourself.
They're usually pointed at the presentation.
What?
They usually pointed at the presentation, yes.
There we go. She's now on the screen, although I can't tell who it is.
Hi, it's Jeanette Maya-Romo with the Workers' Comp Claims Office.
Great. We see your back and your right side.
There you go.
Around.
The camera's right there. I know.
Okay.
This room's full of cameras, but only that one's working.
Okay. I can't really see where I am. Where am I projected? I don't.
Oh, you're not. Right there. Yeah, that little. Yeah. Sorry. You're good. Go ahead.
Am I okay?
Yeah, you're fine.
Hi. I'm not
Talk
too sure.
away.
Do we have some questions here?
No.
I'm not
Go
too
ahead.
sure
Go
if
ahead
I'm
and do
answering
a
questions.
presentation if you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Does everybody see the presentation up on the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So I am here to present the Workers' Compensation Medical Bill Review.
So let me ask Commissioners Barad,
And Reyes.
and Reyes. Do you want the presentation or do you have specific questions?
I have specific questions.
Why don't you start with those?
Go ahead.
Okay. With the emphasis of telecommuting and people working from home, do we need to pay so much for workers' comp?
Well, the law hasn't changed, so we still have to provide medical treatment, indemnity for time lost from work. So those expenses don't necessarily change. So our obligation remains the same and our liability to provide benefits has not changed. We are telecommuting. Our IVOS claim system is paperless. So with the exception of the mail initially getting to our office, we have our clerical team in the office twice a week, and they are scanning in every document that comes into our office so that our analysts who are at home, our analysts and our claims assistants, as well as our supervisors, can then administer the benefits from home. So we're still required to remain in compliance with the law and the timeframes. Does that answer?
If someone is working from home and they're working on DWP business and they fall and injure themselves, does that, can they file a workers' comp claim?
They can. Yes, they can file a workers' comp claim. We have not seen that yet. We haven't had any claims filed just yet. But in the event that they do, we're going to take it on a case-by-case basis. We are going to offer them a claim form if they wish to file for workers' comp benefits, and we will examine exactly what they were doing at the time that the injury occurred. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a presumed compensable claim. We have to look at the details, exactly what they were doing at the time that the injury occurred.
Can I add something to that? So, Linda, when we send stuff to the board, let's send them also the checklist that we had for certifying for working at home. So ITA at the city had some existing work from home plans, and they had a checklist where employees certified certain safety considerations at their home, because this is one of the issues of working from home, is that how do you know the workplace is safe? Is it OSHA compliant? You know, and and this is one of the things that have always been a drawback toward even considering this as a permanent solution. So we took the checklist, we kind of put it together as one thing that employees certified, was that they certified that their home was safe of hazards. In my lingo, I didn't want someone to step on a giant Lego and twist their ankle, and it'd be the department's responsibility. So, this is this is the kind of thing that we had put in the checklist, and dealt with wires and cords and hazards and things like that. So, so we'll send that so you can see it. Now, is it 100% defensible? I don't know. I don't know. Sure, it's been tested, but there is some assertion that employees are making in order to work from home, that they have a workplace that is safe for them to work in. So we'll send you that checklist so you can see that as well. Joe, do you have any comment on that?
No, other than to say California workers' comp law is very broad, and it covers telecommuting. It always has, and the COVID pandemic is no exception. So if a legitimate injury occurs at home that is work-related, it is compensable under the state's workers' comp laws.
Go ahead, sorry.
Okay. Did that answer your question, Commissioner?
Commissioner Barad, do you have other questions?
Yeah, I have another question, that the services that are being provided will ensure cost containment. And it's my feeling that there's too much opportunity for doctors to overprescribe. And I'm wondering if the vendor will be looking into that area, the doctors and their prescribing.
Right. So with regards to medical bill review, and we have another contract up, and that is for utilization review services. For medical bill review, cost containment is achieved, or savings is achieved, when we have providers who are billing for medication, as you mentioned, that has not been certified under the utilization review process. So our medical bill review vendor is cross-referencing. They're looking for that certification for medical treatment. Has this been certified under utilization review? So we are capturing Any physicians that are overbilling or billing for services that are not or have not been deemed certified or appropriate under the guidelines established by the state of California. The 20 million, I should say, $20 million that is referenced in the board letter, those savings are specific for the reason, or they are achieved from vendors that are billing duplicatively, they're billing for services that weren't certified, they are resubmitting billing. So that is where that savings or that number comes from.
Okay, well, since we're self-funded, and we have somebody else doing this, I wondered if we are reviewing this so that doctors don't overprescribe. Are we looking into that?
Well, we can't necessarily control what they prescribe, what they are billing, but the way that we can control that is by just not paying them for services that aren't warranted or authorized.
Commissioner, on your question, as part of item 12 and not this item number 11 itself, there is in the nurse management, case management, there is a review of the medications, the opioids that are being prescribed to our employees, and there is a tracking so that we ensure that we can't across the board know on the, but we know for we do manage how much opioids are being prescribed to our employees.
Exactly.
Yeah, good. That's one of the areas that I think that is really overdone. Is the opioids, for pain.
Okay. Yes, and you'll see in our utilization review contract and nurse case management contract, we do have a process in place when we do receive a request for opioids or even opioids dispensed after surgery. The procedure may be certified and the opioid may be appropriate right after surgery, but continued use is what's alarming and what's concerning. So what we do, what our office does, and working through our vendor, our utilization review vendor, who is Allied, we capture those surgery requests and requests for opioids, and then it actually triages or routes to a nurse case manager who will monitor. They reach out to the injured worker, they explain the use of opioids, and they provide them with cautionary information, just basically prescription medication safety awareness. So they educate not only the employee, but they also keep in touch with the prescribing physician. So we did add that into our contract this year. To make sure that we do have prescription awareness or a safety management process in place, so that we do have a nurse or a team of nurses assigned to that specifically to work with doctors and with our injured workers.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Reyes, do you have questions?
Yeah, just one question actually for both items 11 and 12. Just first of all, thank you to the workers' comp staff for doing an excellent job, processing the employee claims. I know how complex some of the processes are, but my question relates to how these two contracts will intersect with each other. Can you describe where the bill review intersects with the utilization review and the nurse case management? You cited one example, but my interest is how do we address duplicative steps and identify real cost savings when it comes to workers' comp? Because these are two big areas. Actually, these are really core to sort of like containing the cost for workers' comp.
Yes. So our bill review specifically works with utilization review. So anytime there's a decision made, utilization or the review of treatment is recommended, that certification for treatment is then routed to our bill review company. So that ensures that our bill review company is only paying for services, or the department is only paying for services that have been certified under workers or under the ACOM guidelines or the medical treatment guidelines. Additionally, our bill review is also looking to work with our prescription benefit management company. So we offer prescription benefit management or mail order prescriptions. So that is convenient for the injured worker. There's cost savings associated with that as well. But sometimes we have vendors or injured workers who don't choose to go through one of the pharmacies that is associated with our prescription benefit company. So if they bill outside of the prescription benefit network, those are captured by, again, our bill review company. So when they see that these prescriptions are billed and they don't belong within our pharmacy, that means that they could possibly have not been certified. And then those are captured by our bill review company and then brought to our utilization review and nurse case management team so that they can address it with the injured worker and with the physician. So a lot of it is really making sure that physicians are held accountable as well as informing our injured workers. So that's how they're intersecting each other. Does that answer your question, Commissioner Reyes? It looks like she's
Commissioner,
talking, but
we can't hear
We can't hear you, Commissioner Reyes.
She shows muted, but
There you go.
Now we hear you.
Thanks for that. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So in terms of the containment of the cost, can you describe that trend to us? That's my last question.
The trend. Well, I can tell you that, and I actually wrote this down specifically. So bills, last year the number of bills that our bill review company paid or reviewed was over 31,000 bills. In duplicate, we had 3,100 duplicate bills, and bills for reconsideration were 1,600. So just those specifically, having an analyst review these bills, because the bill comes in, it comes in as paper, it's routed electronically to the injured or to the analyst. The analyst will review it and pretty much just move it on. And we do rely on our bill review company to capture those duplicate bills and to capture those requests for reconsideration. These could easily be processed for payment or a check issued. But again, that is captured by our bill review company.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Susanna, do you have other questions?
That's it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Do any other commissioners have any questions on 11 or 12? Would someone like to move approval?
I move, do we do it per item, right? I move approval of item 11.
I seconded. What? Susie, you want to call the roll?
Yes. Barad?
Aye.
Neiman Brady?
Aye.
Susanna Reyes?
Aye.
McLean Hill?
Aye.
Mel Levine?
Aye.
5 ayes.
Is there a motion to approve item 12?
So moved.
Second, Susie?
Berard?
Aye.
Neiman Brady?
Aye.
Reyes?
Aye.
McLean Hill?
Aye.
Levine?
Aye.
5 ayes.
Okay, so we go to the 4 items pulled by Commissioner Neiman Brady, who very thoughtfully emailed which she would like a presentation on and which she has questions on.
Mr. President?
The items she's requested being pulled are 19, 22, 23, and 26. And she's asked for presentations on 19 and 22. So we will go to item 19.
So, Mr. President, we staff has asked to defer item 19 for some further work and review on this. Reiko's available if there's any questions at this time, or if the commissioner would like us to brief her as we revise this, but we would ask this to be pulled and not be voted on today.
Nicole, do you have any questions at this time?
In the interest of time, I'm happy to wait to see the next version.
Okay, I move that this item be deferred. Is there a second?
Second. I second.
Susie?
Berard?
Aye.
Neiman Brady?
Aye.
Reyes?
Aye.
McLean Hill?
Aye.
Levine?
Aye.
5 ayes.
Thank you.
Okay, we move to item 22, Power Plant 1 and Power Plant 2 transmission line upgrade project ordinance to establish design build criteria. And Commissioner Neiman Brady has requested a presentation on item 22.
And we have...
And just to add a slight bit of context, I see actually no concerns with what's being requested. I just wanted to better understand the need for the project and just a better context.
Okay, thank you. And I believe Louis Ting, and I think...
You would want to understand the need for a $70 million project.
So Reiko has, I believe, Louis Ting and I think Sylvia Lozano are in room 921 on video to do this presentation. So if you two would like to say hello and introduce yourselves, please. Louis,
are you there?
Good morning. This is Louis Ting. How are you guys doing?
Hi, Louis.
Hi. So that's a very good segue. Why do we need a $70 million project? This is a project as a continuation of our Barron Ridge Renewable Transmission, a project that we finished about 3 years ago. That's the 65-mile transmission line to bring over 1,000 megawatts of maximum capacity of renewable that we have, all the way from Orange Gorge, the small hydro projects, the solar, which we have over 650 megawatts at this point, and the wind from Pine Tree. So this is the continuation of that project. This one segment, particularly, is actually from the Haskell station, which we completed a few years back, and all the way back to our hub in Sylmar, and to able to bring over 800 megawatts of additional transmission capacity. So by the time we're done with all of these segments, which this is the second to the last one, we'll have over about 2,400 megawatts of transmission capacity coming back to Los Angeles. And this particular item for the board's consideration today is really on the ordinance for us to allow to issue an RFP for a competitive sealed bid for engineer, procure, construction type of project. This is actually a good segue. I'm going to ask Ms. Sylvia Lozano and to come and talk about the specific project on this that we're pursuing here.
Good morning, everybody. This is Sylvia Lozano. So this contract will allow us to demolish existing transmission lines in 70 structures. We have the same core that we use.
Sylvia, can you move the camera down so we can see your face? You're off. You're half off camera. There we go.
That's better.
Thank you.
I have to hold it. There we go. Yeah.
Oh, if you have to hold it, don't worry about it. We can imagine your lips moving.
There you go.
And we can hear very well.
Yeah.
There you go. So can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Good morning.
And we see you.
Thank you. So I'd like to say that this contract, this RFP, will allow us to set up a contract to demolish existing transmission lines that are 115 kV and 70 structures. In the same right-of-way, we'll be building 2 new higher rated transmission lines and 70 new structures. So this contract, like we said, like Louis mentioned, it's an ordinance. We're going out hopefully for a contract. We have planned for an RFP to be advertised in August of this year. We plan for the contract to be awarded March of 2021. We will start construction in July of 2021, and the in-service date for the 2 new rated transmission lines we have planned for September of 2022 in line with our mandates.
How does that practically work? So you de-energize, do you demolish and de-energize before you build the new one? Yes. Or do you build the new one and then demolish?
We would basically de-energize the 115. Okay, so we have a segment of 115 kV that is being rerouted to our Haskell switching station. And once we do that, then we can de-energize the portion of the 115 right-of-way that connects to Silmar. So the capacity will still be there. A part of it is rerouted from PP1, PP2 to the Haskell switching station, but we're not having to acquire new land. It is the same right-of-way, the same corridor, and then we will demolish the segment of 115 transmission line in structures from Haskell switching station to Silmar. So it will be a brand new transmission line, brand new structures, but the 115 segment will already be rerouted to Haskell switching station. So we're not missing or basically not being able to use that capacity that's already there.
And this is where it went. This right-of-way went through where the fires were not too long ago. Correct?
No, I don't believe no.
No.
No, it wasn't there. Okay.
The fire was.
Okay.
I believe the fire path was to the west of where this is.
Yeah, the fire path affected our 500.
Okay. Go ahead.
That was going for
Did you guys get that?
Can you repeat it, please?
Yes.
Yeah, we're saying the Saddle Ridge fire was slightly to the west of where these lines are. It affected our 500 kV line and went through not the 100.
And that was Glenn Berry. He's the Assistant Director of Energy Control and Grid Reliability.
So I didn't understand the answer. I may have just not heard it properly, but will the existing line be not de-energized in the process of the installation of the new one so that it'll be operative until the new one is operative? What's the sequence between the demolition and the installation?
We are going to demolish the 115 kV line, and then we're going to build the new 230.
So essentially, Commissioner, the power plant 1 and power plant 2 line will be connected to the Haskell switching station. So there will not be, there'll be a very short duration where we'll do that switching from the existing line to the new station. So power plant 1, power plant 2 can still continue to generate while we do all the demolition from Haskell all the way down to Silmar. So from the northern part of the map that you're looking at to the southern part of the map. That is the scope really of the project where we're going to upgrade along.
Okay.
So basically going to reroute the existing power, different path, so they can demo and build a new one.
Is this a line that we share with Edison?
No.
No.
Okay.
Sylvia, go ahead with if you have more presentation, go ahead.
So you can move
I think
that
you're on the next slide.
Yeah, next slide, please.
Mm-hmm.
If they have control.
Oh,
So I just want to briefly mention that for this particular RFP and the eventual contract, which will be brought to the board for approval, the contractor scope is only between those two brackets over there. So they're working on the transmission towers, which is demolition and the new lines, and all of the end work or terminus work at the station at Sylmar and Haskell will be done by in-house forces.
Will be done by what?
By in-house construction forces. Is there any other questions regarding this item?
No, thank you. This was very helpful.
Do other commissioners have questions, or are we ready for a vote? Is there a motion?
I motion to approve. This is
I
Neiman
second.
Brady.
Neiman Brady moves, Levine seconds. Susie?
Barad,
Aye.
Neiman Brady,
Aye.
Reyes,
Aye.
McLean Hill,
Aye.
Levine,
Aye.
5 ayes.
Commissioner, even though it'll be after the fact, I'll ask Louis and Sylvia if they can't provide some photographs of the terrain so you can just kind of get the aerial doesn't do much justice for where this transmission line is going. I mean, it gets on the map, but some photographs kind of showing what this would look like in its setting. I realize that a lot of things like this are hard to visualize in their elements and what they really look like in the real world. So I'm going to, one of my goals is to try to be a little more descriptive and illustrative in some of the board letters. We haven't had a chance to do that yet because everything's going on, but I'll ask them to send us some photographs so that we can show you what this line looks like in its setting and where it goes. And there's reason it's this expensive. It's a very difficult construction as well. So
That would be very helpful to me, Marty.
okay.
And also, I just want to applaud everybody because this is no small feat, this project, and clearly is critical to us moving ahead in the renewable penetration that we're trying to do and all just grid reliability in general. So I'm definitely very supportive and I appreciate the detail.
I appreciate that. And it's one of the things I'd like to do is be able to demonstrate a little bit more. I remember years ago when I was sitting in Rich's chair and Aram Benjamin was sitting next to me, and we had some cable, and everybody wondered why we were spending $20 million buying wire until we passed a piece of cable around that was less than a foot long and hardly anybody could pick it up to pass it along. And so sometimes it goes a long way to see that and understand that these projects are, as you mentioned, Commissioner, these are significant undertakings. They take a lot of design, a lot of lead time, and then of course the construction is a massive effort as well. So we'll bring you some more information on this so you can have a little sense of that.
Thank you, Marty. We move to item 23. Commissioner Neiman Brady had questions, or a question or two on that item.
Thank you. I was just looking over the history with this vendor and obviously the size of this contract as well. And it seems that we've been working with this vendor in specific for about 20 years now, maybe, something along those lines. And it's their proprietary technology, so that's why there's no other, or the proprietary systems, and that's why there's no other competitors or other bids for this, and the fact that it's a sole source. But I was curious about who the other competitors are. What does this system lack? When you're with, is this a system that we should be exploring, upgrading or changing vendors? Just given the magnitude of this new contract for 5 more years, it seemed significant and warrants questioning is this the right path to continue on?
For this, I think we believe we have Glenn Berry, the Assistant Director of Energy Control and Grid Reliability, and one of his subject matter experts, Samson.
Yeah, that's correct. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'll give a really brief answer of that. If we have more detailed questions, I have Samson here. He works in our applications controls and cyber security group. So I'm the Assistant Director of the Energy Control and Grid Reliability, Glenn Berry. Yeah, we use Open Systems International, OSI, and I think you correctly stated it's about 20 years since we've been using them. We transferred from a Westinghouse system back then. So I believe as far as SCADA companies go, I might ask Samson to give me specifics on that, but I know there are ABB, Westinghouse, there's probably a couple others in that group.
GE, yeah.
Yeah, GE. But over the last 20 years, like I said, we been working very closely with OSI. We do all our own displays. They've given us the ability to do that. We do all of our database work, things like that with their help as this contract goes into. But we're very happy with this company at this point in time. You asked what's lacking with it, maybe. At this point, nothing off the top of my head comes to mind. Like I said, we're very happy. It's worked very well, and they've been growing along with us and helping us on some of these items to move forward with automation and things like that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, for the most part, I think it does. And then the last little piece, which I did not ask, was what is triggering such a large increase in the cost?
So we have some new modules coming into it. Let me get Samson over here. I think he can maybe do that. We have a short presentation here. Do you want to just go to that screen, maybe? Can we? Do you have the presentation up, or am I controlling that?
Yeah, it's up there. Yeah.
Can you go forward a couple slides? I think there's only 4 slides in the presentation, but let's see.
We're on the current contract slide, Glenn.
There you go. Okay, I'll bring Samson over, and he can introduce himself.
Hi, this is Samson. I work in the Energy Control Systems group. Actually, the big increase in this contract at this time is we have major initiatives going on. One would be the distribution management system, or DMS. As you know, the department has the distribution automation project going on with building wireless mesh network in the city of Los Angeles. And this is like the back office for that system to integrate into the distribution. What this does is it automates our distribution network, improve our reliability, especially in the distribution level, and basically modernize our distribution system. In addition, this contract also provides provision for the CAL ISO EIM market. That also contributed to the increase in the cost. Just to add to that, on top of that, basically this contract covers standard items like maintenance for the software. We have patch services, which is critical for our cybersecurity compliance efforts, and many other things as well.
So it just, it sounds like due to EIM and some of the other distribution upgrades that are new modules that are being implemented, that there's an increase in the pricing, but I know you can't foresee what would happen in the future and what other needs you might have, but it's likely that without those, it would be a more modest increase. Is that fair? Okay. Okay. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
This is Fred Pickle with one question.
Sure.
Does the CAISO or many of the other EIM members use OSI for the EIM and related SCADA?
Yeah, that's correct. Yes, actually OSI is now a big player in the industry. Actually, recently, Pacific Core, which is one of the biggest utilities in the West, uses OSI system. We have Portland Energy. We have contacted all of them to see what their experiences with that, and they're pretty much happy with that. And nationwide, I think they have 70% of the SCADA or AI market, the SCADA system market. I'm talking about OSI.
Thank you.
Sure. Is there a motion?
So moved. Name break.
Second. Second, Susie?
Berard,
Aye.
Levine,
Aye.
McLean Hill,
Aye.
Neiman Brady,
Aye.
Reyes,
Aye.
5 ayes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 26, again, Commissioner Neiman Brady has questions.
Hi there. Just 3 questions on this one. The first one is, how do you pick or prioritize which of these 4 you'll end up using? How does that work? The second question is, I noticed a limit on WQTS of $300,000, but because of financial reasons. But in prior years, you had it looked like paid them roughly $1 million a year. So I'm just curious why that limit was imposed. And the third question is, it looks like Hazen and Sawyer only previously performed satisfactorily, unlike the others. And I'm wondering why they were included if their performance was not quite up to snuff.
Okay, this is Rich Hersick. So the first question of how do you pick who works on tasks? So they're all task managed basis. It's all a task management basis. And so we know there's different expertise that each one of the consultants, and so we will match them up with the particular tasks we have. So they all, as you see, have quite a number of sub-consultants that allows us to get out into that expertise world. And so the reason why we are awarding to 4 is to be able to get a broader range. And so we'll just match up whatever the question that we have in the different categories to those that provide the best technical expertise. The second question was why WQTI is limited. So it's really a single shingle shop. Say that 5 times real fast. It's just a single individual that brings a unique expertise. So that firm therefore only has so much capacity, and the department, when it evaluates contracts in terms of financial capacity, will limit a contract. In other words, we wouldn't want to task this consultant with too much work that he couldn't perform on. So that's that limitation. And we would not even, we don't even anticipate giving him more than, or we didn't even anticipate giving him more than what we've got lined out for him. And then as to Hazen's score, let me take a look. I'm seeing on the evaluation of proposals, I have them as
It was a commentary. It was a commentary in the document that said that the others, I don't remember the exact verbiage, but something about the others performing very well, and then Hazen and Sawyer just satisfactory.
Okay. I don't have that right in front of me.
You know, if you ask my kids, that's still passing. But I always ask, why not the A+? So that's my question there.
I mean, in terms of your kids, yeah. In terms of their overall score, they were the second highest scored of the proposals. And off camera have Jonathan Leong, who is the Assistant Director of Water Quality. Just speak up, John, if you've got.
Sure. We've got a face mask on. Hopefully it goes through. But we had 16 bidders attend our pre-bid conference. At the end, we had 4 proposals submitted. So as Rich pointed out, each were scored. They all had pretty good marks. They were close to 100. And so for the purpose of, again, each of these teams tend to bring a little different strength to the table. We figured there was really no harm. Again, we're using a task management system, so each individual task will be an opportunity for any of these four to put together a mini proposal to submit some work. So Hayes and Sawyer, we have observed some of their innovation work with Pure Utilities, Golden State's Water, for example, and so they do bring some value to the table, so we wanted to include them.
Okay, great. That's very helpful. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks,
Any
John.
other questions from other commissioners? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second, Susie?
Berard,
Aye.
Levine,
Aye.
McLean Hill,
Aye.
Neiman Brady,
Aye.
Reyes, Commissioner Reyes, are you on mute?
Aye.
5 ayes.
And I think, Susie, we need to go back to the motion on the minutes. Commissioner McLean Hill was not present at that time.
Correct. Commissioner Barad,
Aye.
Levine,
Aye.
McLean Hill,
Aye.
Neiman Brady,
Aye.
Reyes,
Aye.
5 ayes.
So that completes the open agenda, and we've voted on the 4 items in the closed agenda. Joe, is there any need to go into closed session for items B, C, or D on the closed agenda at this point?
No, Commissioner, there is not. So at this point, you may adjourn the meeting if you so wish.
We tried to make
Okay,
up
well,
for last time that we were very long, so.
Yes, this is, if you average these two, it comes out okay. On that note, thank everybody for an excellent meeting, and congratulate the staff once again, and adjourn the meeting. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.